podcast. My name is Brad. I'm here with our guy, Mr. Brig. How are you, Spartanburger Brig?
Oh, I am Spartanburger Brig, aren't I?
Totally.
Holy crap, that might need to be a thing from now on. You just call them and tell them that I am suddenly a huge fan. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm rocking all the new gear. For those of you
Yeah.
listening who can't watch, went to the exhibition game, first game of the season. Not the big opening day, that's the 15th, but we
Oh,
went to
just
the
who'd they
exhibition
play
game.
in an exhibition?
It was an interleague thing or an inter squad kind of a scrimmage.
Oh, okay.
What it felt like to me was a dress rehearsal
Hmm.
for the stadium, for the ball club, for everything. But dude, let me tell you what, and I'm going to wax on about this all season, but this ballpark is awesome. It
Yeah,
is genuinely fantastic. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's really cool.
hmm I need to see it
Um,
at full heat, full capacity, full everything just
hmm.
to really get an idea. But for instance, it has self checkout at the concessions.
They have
Everything's got a
that.
barcode. You scan it.
Yeah, they have that at. We went to a Suns game, and I think I saw it somewhere else recently too, where you tap your card to go into like a convenience store area, you grab your
Ah,
stuff, and then you just walk out. And
interesting.
so what it is it basically takes $20 on your card, and then you can get
It's like a
whatever you
holding.
want.
Right.
Yeah, and then if you don't spend $20, it puts the rest back. If you spend more, then it goes
Very
with the rest
cool.
of it. But
No, this
super
was your
easy. It's
standard
so
self
fast too.
checkout.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was your standard self checkout. You go in, you grab your item. Everything's got a barcode on it. There's a flank, sometimes two, of kiosks, and you just boop everything, tap
Hmm.
to pay, and you're out. There's a couple of attendants standing there waiting to make sure that you get help if
Hmm.
you need, and probably that you don't steal stuff.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That's cool. I want to say I saw some. I swear I saw something like that recently somewhere. I can't think of where it was though. Like
Hmm.
it doesn't feel like a spring training game thing, and I don't think it was at State Farm Stadium, like at the Fiesta Bowl or
Ah,
at the Seahawks game when the Seahawks came to beat the Cardinals this year.
yeah, when they came to beat the
Because
Cardinals.
they do that every year. They do it every year.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
just what it is. But
It was
anyway, so
Arizona vacation.
yeah, exactly. So I have I had this funny story from today, Brig, that I want to tell you before we get into anything.
Okay, tell me.
So my beard is a mess. I went and saw this
Mm,
barber for the last time ever a couple weeks ago, and
yeah.
they didn't do a good job. It's not how I liked it. I've been talked off a cliff a number of times for just shaving it off and starting fresh. Okay, and not all the way off. There, don't worry, baseball family. There will be a beard there all the time
There
because I
must
can't
be.
not.
Yeah.
But
Right.
anyway, so I was gonna go see this barber today and see if he could clean it up for me. And my son went with me because he wants to get a haircut. He wants to get like a punk hawk, and I'm like, I'm all for this. And so we went to go see this barber, and Brig, we walked in there, and like half the banks of lights were off, and we're like, that's interesting. And so we walk in, and I kind of look around, and there's this guy kicked back in a barber chair with his feet up on the pool table, his hood down over his eyes, his headphones in. The dude was out, totally asleep.
Right.
There was not another person in this barber shop, and this guy was taking his 3 o'clock siesta. And I was like, are you open?
Yeah.
Not sure what else to do, and no response. I was like, okay, I guess we won't be getting our haircut today. So we left.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was so funny and so weird, and unlike any
That's
experience I've
weird.
ever had in my entire life. That like front door was open, back door was open, not in the best part of town.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, all right, man,
Can't knock the hustle.
if you
Dude,
say so.
the dude's got some serious street cred, is that's what that means.
I guess, yeah, must be the case. But yeah, so it was it was so funny though. I've been chuckling about it to myself like all afternoon. But anyway, okay, let's get into some stuff. But before we do, we want to remind you, baseball family, about, of course, Chinook Seedery. Head over to ChinookSeedery.com, get the best seeds ever, and save 10% on them with code BTPod. Use that at checkout, save 10% on your order. Support your mouth, support your wallet, support the show all at once. Um, you can thank us later because they are truly the best seeds ever. We love them. Brig is all about Parma Pep. In case you didn't notice, if you're watching, my flavor of the day is cinnamon toast.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
Mm.
went through today, and they're sweet and salty and delicious. Okay,
Yep.
first things first, we had some contract extensions this week. It's funny because one came down and then another one, and then another, and then another. So these are the big ones that we had. First, we had Jackson Merrill with the San Diego Padres, 9 years, $135 million. We'll come back and revisit these in just a minute, Brig. But
Okay.
let's just burn through them real quick. Garrett Crochet with the Boston Red Sox, 6 years, $170 million. Christian Campbell also with the Red Sox, made his MLB debut just like last week. Eight
Right.
years,
Opening day.
$60 million guaranteed. There's some club options that we'll come back to. And then Ketel Marte with the Arizona Diamondbacks at 31 years old gets 6 years, $116.5 million, includes $5 million deferred from this year. Um, first things first, Brig. I want to know which of these do you think is the best deal?
Uh, wow. The best deal is
Hmm.
Jackson Merrill. That's the best deal.
That's a steal, man.
That is almost. I mean, okay, we can't compare the Juan Soto deal,
To
but
anybody, yeah, no.
right. But if we have an elevated ceiling, if we now know the ceiling can go at least that high, let's say,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
Then that makes this look very small by comparison. It's not that small, but by comparison, it's crazy. Now, he's young, he's excellent, he's going to continue to be excellent. I'll bet you he outperforms in terms of output what this is worth to them in terms of cost.
I
So
guarantee he does.
there's no way the club loses on this deal. No
Right.
way.
Yeah, so one of the things he said in his press conference with this was he was saying something about how there's just like stupid money being thrown around right now.
Yeah.
And some people are like, was that a direct reference to Juan Soto? We don't know. But
He
I was
brought up
watching Foul Territory.
$700 million. He said $700 million. He didn't just say stupid money. It was a direct line to
Okay,
Juan Soto.
then yeah, then it was okay. Because I didn't hear the whole thing. I just heard stupid
Oh,
money or whatever.
no, it was
Um,
crazy.
but this is one of the things they said on Foul Territory is that Jackson Merrill is an incredible hitter and a way better athlete than Juan Soto. Like, is is he potentially leaving $600 million on the table?
I don't know that it's 600 million, but is he leaving money on the table? Oh
He
yeah,
definitely is. He
for
definitely
sure.
is. But I wonder if Jackson Merrill has the attitude that I'm in a good spot, right? $10 on the coast, $10 in a cold location, right? He is
For
in
sure.
one of the best spots in Big League Baseball as far as the weather goes. Also, he's got a safety net for the next 9 years,
That's right.
right? Doesn't have to worry about going through arbitration. That's not going to fracture a relationship with the team. Doesn't have to worry about free agency for a few years, right?
Almost a decade.
Well, I mean, by the time he gets through his arbitration years, he's going to have what
Yeah, you're right.
4 years left on that. So,
Mm-hmm.
so he doesn't have to worry about that. So he can focus on balling out. And then by the time that 9 years is up, like who knows what he's going to be worth if things continue the way that they have
Yeah,
been for him. By the way, for those of you not doing the math on this, that's $15 million a year AAV on that. So that's really good
it's
for a
very
second, third,
little.
fourth, fifth year player. But once he gets past arbitration, that number would skyrocket. So I think he saw his number, and I think, like I said, he's in a good spot and realizes kind of like what was it Jose a few years
Ramirez.
ago? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he was like, how much going to be if I make a few hundred more, like a few more million.
Right. But
So
he loves Cleveland,
he does
and
love
that's it. He
Cleveland, and
just
honestly,
loves
if I'm Jackson
Cleveland.
Merrill, I probably love San Diego.
Well, and so he said that he loves the clubhouse, he loves the organization. I'm sure he loves San Diego itself. And so in his press conference, he made it very clear that he's very, very happy and he wants to
Hmm.
keep it going that way. in all of the areas of his life. He sounds like he's just loving it. So I say, dilly dilly, and get after it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I don't fault him at all. He is 21 years old, though.
that's it.
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to say. So when he gets done with this, he'll be 30, 31, and he'll be worth a lot of money. So I think it's the perfect
Mm-hmm.
amount of money to A, get you through, right? Allow you to free up
Mm-hmm.
your time, free up your attention, free up all the whatever rumor mill and anything crazy that might happen, and just perform.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's also a
Yeah.
signal from the Padres that they're willing to invest in the team, which we have kind of not been so sure about for the last couple of years.
Right.
So I would take some comfort in that if I was Jackson Merrill. And
And
it's a
to this point,
team
it's working
guy.
because they're the only other undefeated team besides the Dodgers right now. So
Yep,
they got a really good thing going. I think they're willing to kind of ride this thing out with any uncertainty and just go along with it. And I think it's great. Go
I do
Friars,
too.
man.
I'm here for it.
It's fantastic. Okay, Garrett Crochet 170 over 6. I'd be terrified.
This is terrible.
That's a lot.
This makes no sense. I know he's only 25, and that's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a 6-year deal for a pitcher. Don't stop it. Stop it. I don't get it. I know you got to
Yeah.
find a way to balance what the pitchers want and
Mm-hmm.
need in terms of job security and professional safety in terms of aging out and different things like that. I understand. So this is a great deal for Garrett Crochet. I'm not sure it's a
Yeah.
great deal for the Red Sox, but Garrett
I
Crochet
don't.
is winning this contract.
I absolutely agree with you because you don't know if he's going to need Tommy John again, and you don't know if he's what he's going to be like in 2 years even. Because
Yeah.
he's had like last year he was lights out money, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Before that he was good. Okay, I'm not going to say he wasn't good, but he was good before that for a year
Mm-hmm.
before he was injured, right? You just I think he's still just such an unknown. And I know everybody's like, man, he's like the best pitcher. But like, dude, there's a lot of question marks. I feel like with him.
So I've got his stats up last handful of seasons, just broad strokes.
Uh-huh.
2020, he played 5 games. We're not going to worry about it. 2021, he posted a 2.82 ERA across 54 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2023, 13 game appearances, 3.55 ERA. 2024, 32 appearances and a 3.58 ERA.
What year did he?
So
Isn't there a year he missed because of injury, because of Tommy John?
it must have been 23 with only 13
Okay.
games. Had to have been 23.
Okay. I'm double checking right here.
Do it. But I think
Um.
long-term pitcher deals make no sense to me.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
2023.
question. Like why people do that.
He came back in 2023 from Tommy John. Yeah. So yeah. No. I don't think long term deals with pitchers make sense, especially given the current climate. And I get it. I get it. Like if a guy stays healthy, he's gonna have a great run, right? He'll have an
Yeah.
outstanding run if he's a great pitcher, but the risk is so not worth the reward because the other
Yeah.
thing is that there is always a new crop of pitchers coming in who are going to be great because
Yep.
of the technology the pitchers have to create their pitches and hone everything in. I feel like it's way easier to get a good starting pitcher now than it has been in a while.
Yeah. That's probably true.
So, and I know Crochet is he was outstanding last year. He was next level, right? But at the same time, though, man, like it's finicky. It is a finicky thing. Christian Campbell, also with the Red Sox, 8 years, $60 million. Good for him. I think this is a good deal for both of them. There are a couple club options, 2023 or 2033. There's a $19 million option, and then in 2034, there's a $21 million club option. So this is going to buy.
This is
They
great.
just bought. They bought out his arbitration, and then there's 2 years of free agency there on the end. So, or
Yep.
and then there's I guess an added 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years of
there at the
control
end. So
beyond that.
two
Yeah,
plus two.
this
So that I guess two
it's
plus one
great.
plus one. But anyway, I think that's
It
good for
makes
him, good
perfect
for them,
sense.
good move. Because if he pans out, then they can hold him, and that's cheaper. So
Oh, way cheaper.
to
And
tell Marte
so
last. Oh,
far
sorry.
so
Go ahead.
good.
No.
No, so
Yeah.
far so good. Like there's
Really small sample size, but so far so good. Yeah.
yeah, and why not go all in? Why not?
Yeah.
Show the
Cattell
world that you
Marte
care.
at 31 years old, 6 years, $116.5 million.
Legacy deal.
Dude, he was an MVP candidate like
I
almost
know.
all year last year.
But this is going to make him D-back forever, which is
Yes,
awesome.
it will. Yeah, good
So,
for
because he's
him.
31 right now, so he'll be,
Yeah, because
brushing
he's
up
got time
against.
left on his current deal.
So he'll be
So,
brushing up against 40 when he gets done.
yeah, so his current deal, I believe, is over. Let me double check it here. Um, I think this is the last year of his deal. Oh no,
Hmm.
he had 3 more years.
Whoa,
So, yeah, so
3?
he'll be 40. He'll be 40 when his contract is up. So,
Yeah. Okay.
D-back for life. Love it.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's great, dude. Keep him
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
At one point, he was the only All-Star on the entire roster,
Yeah.
and not just the token All-Star guy from the
Right.
D-backs.
He
He
was
was a
a
legitimate
legitimate.
All-Star.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
And so I
And
think it's a
you
great deal for everybody.
and the D-backs make the playoffs again, and he's unstoppable. There's no getting that guy out in the playoffs.
No,
It's unreal. It's
no. Two
crazy. All
years
right.
ago,
So
he was on another planet.
yeah. Okay, some notable transactions we have from the last couple days. There's obviously there's a flurry of transactions going on all the time, but these were the two that I thought were both actually really, really interesting. First, the Pirates optioned their former All-Star closer David Bednar to AAA.
Elder
He
Bednar.
struggled last year, and let me look at his numbers real quick this year. That's a really short leash for a guy who so he has 2 losses this year. Okay.
He's got a
He
27 ERA.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. He's pitched a total of 1 inning, 3 appearances, and a 27 ERA. Oh, man
That's
alive!
bad.
Only 1 home run.
Oh, what
Wow.
happened?
So I think this is the thing: is that closers a lot of times can be really fickle as far as like, man, that dude is lights out this year. Oh boy, he's terrible this year. And then he goes somewhere else. Like, who was it? Who did the arrow? I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
Gosh dang, Fernando Rodney. That dude
Rodney.
played for so many different teams. In fact, I'm gonna look it up right now how many teams he played for because he would spend like 3 years somewhere, 2, 3 years somewhere, and just wear out his welcome in that second or third year, and then he'd go somewhere else and be lights out for an
It's
entire
like
year.
he had to prove it to himself again or something.
Yeah, yeah, something. I don't know because like so this is it. Are you ready? So
Yeah.
2022 to 20 sorry, 2002 to 2009, he played for Detroit. He missed 2004 with injury. And then he went to the Angels for 10 and 11, the Rays for 12 and 13, the Mariners for 14, part of 15 went to the Cubs, and then 16 he was with the Padres and Marlins, 17 he was with the D-backs, 18 was with the with the Twins and the A's, and then 19 was with the A's and the Nats.
Wow.
And I don't feel like that's like too far off the mark for most relievers and closers. You have a few
Yeah.
guys who are just great forever and consistent, right? But like for the
Yeah.
most part, relievers are relievers for a reason. A lot of them are, and they can be kind of finicky. So I
Yeah.
think
Well, look
Bednar
at
is gonna he's
Aroldis
gonna get
Chapman. Chapman
yeah. I
was
think
Reds, Reds, Reds. Swapped with the Yankees for the Cubs for half a year for a season. Then Yankees, 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 and then since then it's been Royals, Rangers, Pirates, Red Sox.
yeah, yep.
And I think it would be
And he's
interesting
been
if we
up and
looked at,
down, and he's been up and
yeah,
down.
yeah, it'd be interesting if we looked at, oh, why can't I think of his name? The bird with the arm. Freak. What's my brain doing?
Oh, Kimbrel,
Kimbrel.
Craig Kimbrel. You look at that real
Okay.
quick. I'm going to go through this other one real quick because this is
All
another
right.
interesting one. The A's DFA'd Yuri Ruiz on Sunday, and then Brig they traded him to the Dodgers for a pitching prospect. He
Yep.
was going to be the next big thing with the A's. He was going to be one of their headliner guys when they got to Las Vegas. Instead, it's Lawrence Butler, it's Brent Rooker, it's Mason Miller, right?
Yep.
And the Dodgers are going to put him in AAA Oklahoma City. Is where he's going to start off with them. Um, I worry that he's going to be like another Billy Hamilton, where all he has is
Ooh.
speed. It's
I hope
elite
not.
speed. It's
Right.
100 speed on MLB The Show, right?
Yeah. Right.
But the dude just like, man, just can't stick because he can't quite hit, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's a bummer because this dude, Ruiz, is fun to watch. He's electric, but he's not exactly an LA De La Cruz at the bat. So,
Which is what everyone expected him to be, and we need
yeah,
him to be. He needs himself to be. Honestly,
yeah, he does.
that's
Exactly.
tough. All right, real quick, I looked up Kimbrel. Braves, Braves,
Hmm.
Braves, Padres. Red Sox for 3 years, Cubs, Cubs, Cubs for 3 seasons, White Sox, Dodgers, Phillies, Orioles. It's the same thing. Just bounce, bounce,
Hmm.
bounce, 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 trying to
Yep.
keep it going.
Yep. Trying to get it back. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last thing we have before we get into the TV broadcast schedule. Real quick, Brig. 3 teams. Braves are coming into Thursday. Braves are 0-7. Brewers are 2-4. I think they're 3-4 now. I think they're about to beat um, the Reds. But anyway,
I'm
we'll
looking
say
at it
two
right
and
now.
four coming into Thursday, and Red Sox coming into Thursday were 2-4. It's early, very small sample size, super early panic or patience. Who are you most concerned for? I think it's pretty clear based on
The
today's results,
Brewers
though.
won, by the way. They beat
That's
the
what I
Reds.
thought. Okay, the Red
Yep.
Sox won today too.
Yep.
I
8 to
mean,
4 against Baltimore, by the way.
yeah, yeah. So let me rephrase this question: how concerned are you for the Braves right now, Bray?
Uh, I think that if it weren't for the imminent return of a couple of guys, I would be losing my marbles. But
Yeah.
because I know a couple guys are coming back and they are impact dudes, then
Hmm.
it'd be okay. I'd be on ice for a minute. I'd let myself rest easy
Yeah.
for at least 3 more days or whatever.
Well, and this is the thing is that if you hold serve, if you can figure out how to hold serve in that division, you're gonna get Profar back in June
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
because it's only 80 games. It's not 160 games. So
Yeah, that's a big deal. Uh, Spencer Strider is already at AAA Gwinnett. He's going to start his second rehab start in the next couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. And then let's look up Acuna. He's expected first half of May, so oh, we're still 4 to 6 weeks out. I feel like with the way things are going right now, 4 to 6 weeks is a long time. But you gotta, like
hmm
you said, you gotta hold serve. If the Braves can hang on, they have to turn this around. If they keep doing this all the way to mid-May,
yeah, it doesn't
that's
matter who comes back.
I'm not sure it will matter. Yeah,
Yeah, prime Babe
especially in
Ruth
that
wouldn't dig them
division.
out of that hole. But
No.
yeah, no, nope. It was just a like man alive. The Braves are just it's a mess. They were so close last night too. They were up 5-0 against the Dodgers
Yeah.
and they blew it. And Otani, of course, walked him off. Okay, let's
Of
get into the
course.
national TV schedule real quick. But before we do that, we want to remind you about Patreon. If you like what we're doing here for less than the price of one of Briggs' bougie coffees, you can support the show directly by heading over to patreon.com. We have different swag items, different things for different tiers. But we have $1, $5, $10, $15, and a whopping $500 worth of monthly support for the show. Everybody gets different things, but one thing everybody gets for sure is we're going to do an extra episode every month for the rooters over on Patreon. So go check it
Yep.
out. All right, national TV schedule. Let's get into it. This Friday on Apple TV, we have the Dodgers at the Phillies at 6:45 p.m. Uh, and then the Rays and the Rangers at 8:05 p.m. Both those on Apple TV Plus. Your MLB TV free game of the day. So if you don't have MLB TV, if you don't pay for it, if you don't have T-Mobile, any of that, you can still watch this game. This is the Blue Jays at the Mets at 3:10 p.m. These are all Eastern time.
Saturday, your MLB TV free game of the day will be Cleveland's baseball club in Chavez Ravine. Nope, they're going to play the Angels in Anaheim, not Chavez Ravine. They're going to play the Angels in Anaheim. That's going to be at 9:38 p.m. Eastern. You can also watch baseball on FS1 on Saturday. The Dodgers will be in Philly at 4:05 Eastern, and Cincinnati will be up the street in Milwaukee at 7:10. There will be no game on Fox on Saturday.
Not yet. Sunday, ESPN's primetime game. That's the Cards at the Red Sox at 7:10 p.m. And then MLB TV free game of the day is the Yankees at the Pirates at 1:35 p.m. Fun fact here, Brig. When I was putting this together today, you want to know a funny thing? Sunday, the last MLB TV free game of the day, uh, on the last Sunday of the season, was the Pirates of the Yankees. That was the last
Really?
free game of the day on MLB TV. Yeah,
Huh.
last season. Yeah,
Cool. That's awesome.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. All right, this weekend series to watch. This is brought to you by SeatGeek. If we were going to games this weekend, these are the games that we would go to, and we would use SeatGeek to get our tickets to get there. You can too by heading to SeatGeek.com and using code Baseball Together, one word, to save $20 on your first order. That's Baseball Together, one word, at SeatGeek.com to get your tickets to the biggest games this weekend and anytime. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MLB. So my series I'm watching this weekend, I've got obviously the Mariners and the Giants. The Giants are playing really well right now. The Mariners still are not hitting the ball, and I keep banging my head against the wall. So here we are, right? Just another day. I'm watching the Padres and the Cubs because the Padres have not lost yet, and I'm fascinated by them, and I'm curious how they're going to go against the Cubs, who have been hitting the ball. So they're heading
it for
home
you?
for the
You're
first time. Also, the Dodgers and the Phillies because that's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was
I want to
thinking.
see how the Phillies do against a really good team like the Dodgers because the Dodgers it's going to be like a weird measuring stick with the Dodgers all season. Anybody
It'll
who beats
skew
them, it's going to be
everything.
like, no, okay. Okay.
All right. How many though? You played
What
three
was the
times. How
score?
many did you?
Yeah.
Did you sneak
Yeah.
out one time?
Anybody who steals a series from the Dodgers, like it's almost like take them seriously. The White
For
Sox
real. And
took
if you
2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, take them seriously.
right, and if you sweep them, I still think we'll apologize. I still think it'll be like, they had a bad day. Everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
We're not going to trust it
Broken
with the
clocks
Dodgers.
right twice a day. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so my series, I'm going to watch the Yankees in Pittsburgh, obviously. Dodgers Phillies makes a lot of sense to me. San Diego being undefeated, I got to watch that. But I've got a really close eye on these D-backs. I called them in my heart tier, and so far they are not disappointing me, even in the boogie down, and that is upsetting to a Yankees fan, but in my diamond tier, it helps me feel better. That's pretty much it. I don't care. I think the Mets Blue Jays series is the only other one that feels interesting to me. Somehow the Blue Jays have won more games than anybody else in the AL East, and that feels wrong. And the
A
Mets,
little bit.
boy, are the Mets interesting. Can we just talk about how the Mets are interesting? They're 3-3. They're playing 500 ball right now. That puts them at third place in the division. And it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter. It's April 3rd. Get off my jock. But I'm also paying really close attention, okay? And you should be too, but you don't have to because it's April 3rd. Anyway, I want to see how these two teams match up, especially because I don't think this is the Blue Jays we're going to get. So,
No, I don't think so. I'm hoping this isn't the Mariners we're going to get because, man, it looked bad against the A's. And then for the A's to go play like that against the Cubs, it's like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, I know that the transitive property does not work in sports, but it
Yeah,
sure.
but Kind of does sometimes, though.
It sure makes things look really bad.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you
It
what the
sure can.
transitive property does affect is momentum and mojo and your mental game and stuff like that. It does affect those things.
Of the fan, I don't think it does anything for the players, to be completely honest with you, because I think players do a good job of being like matchups. It's fine,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
This early,
anyway,
none of it matters. This early,
no,
not to that
nothing
degree.
matters this early. No, you're right.
No, they matter. Games matter.
Other than the one thing that does matter, Brig, is that no team that's ever started 0-7 has ever finished above 500. So that's a little scary for the Braves.
Oh no. Hmm.
Much less made the playoffs, and that was where the Braves were supposed to be headed this year. But
Right.
at this point, I don't know. But anyway, let's end with this. Today in baseball history, April 3rd, 1987, the Cubs trade veteran pitcher Dennis Eckersley and minor leaguer Dan Roan to the A's for 3 minor leaguers. Eckersley would go on to lead the AL in saves twice and win an MVP with Oakland. So, pretty good deal, if you ask me.
That's pretty good. That worked
It's
out.
pretty good. But baseball family, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Catch us Sunday morning. We're going to be back in your RSS feed with a new episode where we talk about this year's new Copa hats. We go through and we break down the 8, and we share our favorites and our least favorites, and it's all fun and games. But so go check that out. Like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can, and we will catch you then. There we go.
Nice.
Go at it.